Today you are joined by host Greg and co-host.
Dylan, and make sure to call me your predictions. Let's get right into this video. Okay, so this is my slide. You see the 49ers and Dolphins there because I am a 49ers and Dolphins fan. And my overall is 57 and 38, which is pretty good. And my record last week was 9 and 5. There's a lot of upsets. I predicted one, so very cool.
Hi, my name is Greg. As you can see, I'm an avid Saints fan, and my record as of last week is 9-5, which coincidentally is the same thing that Dylan predicted. So we are now tied for last week's predictions, which brings my overall total 19-15. So.
Okay, the Saints and the Falcons, 2-4 teams going at it on Thursday night. Hopefully, better than the last three. I have the Saints, I have the Cardinals in this, only by 3 though. They both lost last week. The Saints kind of choked it, and the Cardinals never stood a chance. But the main reason why I'm picking the Cardinals here is because of the return of DeAndre Hopkins. I think if DeAndre Hopkins was not playing this, I would take the Saints, but I think he's going to be a difference maker.
The Saints versus the Cardinals, both 2-4 teams. I have the Cardinals actually winning this just by 3 because of solely DeAndre Hopkins. Just as Dylan said before, I think the Saints need to stay healthy, and they would obviously win this matchup if they had a completely healthy roster. I have the Cardinals winning this 20-17.
Washington. You see, we got the Heineken with Washington because Taylor Heineke is starting. I put that as a pro. I think that he may be better than Carson Wentz. He did really good in that playoff game against the Buccaneers. But I have the Packers winning this, but this is kind of a 50-50 for me. I could see this going either way. Taylor Heineke might just somehow win this game. But I have the Packers winning this 24-17.
As for the Packers and the Commanders, I have it in more of a low-scoring game, just coming out 6-10, and somewhat of a boring lack of offense. I think Rodgers and Tunyon's connection last game was a good one, but the thing is, he needs to get the receiving core going even further than it has before. He needs to have that MVP caliber season. He needs to get more touchdowns and make sure the Packers finish through games all the way. The Commanders are bringing back Heineke in place of Wentz, who is injured. And I see this as an upside. I don't think that this is downgrade at all. I think they might be even more dangerous with quarterback that teams haven't prepared for as of thus far.
Browns and Ravens. Third in North versus first in North. I have the Ravens winning this 27-14. The Ravens are turning in to the Baltimore Falcons, but I do not think that they will choke this game. Both me and Greg took the Browns last week by quite a few points because we thought Nick Chubb would have a game. Patriots proved us wrong. So I'm not going to take the Browns again this week. I have the Ravens.
Unlike Dylan, I actually have the Browns winning this game 21-20. I believe Chubb will bounce back and Kareem Hunt will play a pivotal role in this receiving offense as a receiving back. I think their run game is great. Again, like I said last week, the best in the league. And I think their one weakness is probably Jacoby Brissett and his numbers. We will see how that goes with Deshaun Watson coming off suspension later on this year. But as for now, the receiving game has yet to be amazing. And as for the Ravens, I think Justin Tucker is a difference maker within the game. I think he's going to lead them to a lot of points within this game against the Browns. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to have a field day of his own, but I don't think ultimately enough is going to be enough to overtake the Browns. I have the Browns winning 21-20.
Okay, Buccaneers, Panthers. I have the Grumpy Cat Panthers losing by 16 to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers who just lost to the Steelers, which is why I think that they could lose this game. But if they lose this game, a lot of people are saying their season is over, which is understandable, losing to the Steelers and then the Panthers back-to-back weeks. But they remain first because 3 weeks ago they beat the Falcons, the Buccaneers, that is. But I'm still going to have the Buccaneers winning this mostly because of their receivers and the lack of receivers for the Panthers, aka Robbie Anderson, going to the Cardinals.
As for the Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, I've the Buccaneers pulling off a meager win, 21-13, to slightly preserve their season. I think Brady and his playmaking is the biggest factor in this game. Everyone thought that after the Giselle Buchanan stuff or Bud Cannon stuff happened that he would go off, but he seems to be just the opposite. I think the strengths of the Buccaneers is that they still have solid defense without Brady, or solid offense, that is. As for the Carolina Panthers, I cannot say the same. Baker Mayfield is not doing the best, but he's not also doing the worst. And I think they really need to get in the end zone more if they want to win this game. I have the Bucks up 21-13.
Falcons Bengals. I predicted the Falcons to upset the 49ers last week, and I got that right. I also predicted the Bengals to beat the Saints. And the main reason why I'm taking the Bengals in this game is because we saw what they did to the Saints last week. The Saints jumped out, kind of controlled the whole game, and then in the end, the Bengals came back and stole the lead. I think that's going to happen in this game. That was something that the 49ers couldn't do, mostly because of injuries. I think the 49ers could have actually came back in that game against the Falcons if they weren't so injured, and I think that's what the Bengals are going to do, and we're going to see almost a repeat of what happened last week with the Saints. So I have the Bengals winning this 29-27.
And just as last time, I have a game that Dylan predicts as a high-scoring game instead as a low-scoring game. I have the Falcons losing 6-14 due to a pretty good Jamar Chase couple of runs. He proved himself that he is still wide receiver one over T. Higgins last week. And I think the O line will hold up just enough, even though that is one of their main weaknesses. And the fact that Joe Burrow got sacked 3 times last week. I think the Falcons' run game is pretty good right now, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake this uh, Cincinnati team.
I have the Cowboys winning this 25-20, kind of a bounce back game for the Lions, going from 0 to 20 points off a bye week. But I still have the Cowboys winning this. Yes, mostly because their defense and Dak. I don't think Dak's going to have that good of a game, though. I mean, it is a Lions defense, but I don't see. I think Dak's still a little injured, and he's still going to have some trouble. But I still think the Cowboys are going to win this game. The Lions have inconsistent offense, no defense, so just bad overall. But let's see if they could win it.
In this matchup, the Lions against the Cowboys, I have the Lions losing this to the Cowboys and dropping yet another game, 13-21. They come back, putting up more points than they did when they previously played against the Patriots, but I don't think it'll be enough to upset this Cowboys defense. I have the Lions losing this 13-21.
Okay, Giants Jaguars. I'm having the Giants win this 28-21. I originally picked the Giants last week, and then I changed it last minute. I'm not going to do that this week, although I could see the Jaguars winning this. I know that some people can, probably because they're at home. But I think I think it will be pretty close. Maybe Jaguars get out to like a 7-point lead in the third, but I think the Giants are going to come back like they always do and win this game 28-21.
When it comes to the Giants against the Jaguars, I think the Giants' offense is too much for the Jags D to handle. I think Saquon Barkley is going to run all over this defense. I think Danny Dimes is going to do what he does best, throw dimes. I think Brian Dable has really turned this team around. The fact that they're 5-1 is now extremely admirable. I think they're going to win this game 24-10.
So, Colts, Titans, I actually have the Colts in this. A lot of people, I actually haven't seen anybody take the Colts, which is surprising to me since they just beat the Jaguars 34-27. I think a lot of people are underestimating the Colts, which is understandable. But I think the Colts actually perform better against better teams than they do worse teams. So I have them winning this 27-22.
Unlike Dylan, I actually have the Colts losing this game to the Titans. I have the Titans winning 28-13. I think Matt Ryan is going to go back to what he looked like in that Broncos game on Thursday Night Football. I think that the Tennessee Titans are just going to run all over this defense, just as I said with the Giants, who have an elite quarterback that is in Derrick Henry. I think they're going to utilize Henry a lot more than he has been in the past, and they are going to win this game 20.
Hey, Raiders Texans. What a great battle the 1-4s this is. I have the Raiders though, mostly because I put columns for no Devontae, but I do actually think that Devontae is playing. Because I think that it's more of a thing with the legal system than the suspension. But even without Devontae, I still have the Raiders winning this just because I think they're the better team, even though they're 1-4. But I could see the Texans pulling this off. That's why I have it a 4-point game or a 5-point game. But yeah, I have the Raiders winning this 21-17.
And as for the Texans and the Vegas Raiders, I have this as somewhat of a trap game. Everyone would be expecting the Raiders to win this game, but I actually have the Texans winning it. As one of the weaknesses, I do think irrelevant to this week at all. I think Devontae Adams and his possible suspension in the future will greatly hurt this Raiders offense. And I do think that as for the Houston Texans, that Brandon Cooks and Davis Mills are going to have a field day all over this Raiders defense. I have the Texans winning 17-13.
So, Jets Broncos. I have the Jets winning this by 7. Mostly because I took the Packers last week, which I shouldn't have done. I didn't believe in the Jets, but now I do. I also remember the Jets beat the Broncos a couple of years ago with similar teams. Russell Wilson, I think he's going to continue cooking sushi, which means you don't cook sushi. So I have the Jets winning this by 7. Breece Hall is going to have a day, and the Broncos will not ride.
Broncos country, let's cry. I have the Broncos not even getting into the end zone, much like Thursday Night Football against the Colts. I have them losing 3-17 against the New York Jets. I think that the Jets are going to be all over this Broncos offense. I don't think Russell Wilson has the vision to get the ball to his receivers in time, especially with Gardner going to be defending some of his receivers. He's going to be locking them up, having the day. I think the running back room for the Jets is going to go off on this defense as well. I know they're good, but I don't believe they are to the level of Breece Hall and his abilities. I have the Jets winning this 17-3.
Hey, Chiefs 49ers. Unfortunately, I am betting against my team for the second week in a row. I don't want to do this, but injuries kind of make me. They're going to be healthier this week. That's why I could see them winning this. But still a tricky game for me to pick. I think Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce going to have a day. I think it's going to be somewhat close, though. I think our defense isn't going to perform like the number one defense in the league, like they were for the first 4 weeks. But I think that they'll keep it close until the end, and the Chiefs win by a touchdown. But that's my prediction.
In a nail-biter matchup, I have the Chiefs winning this game 24-20 against the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Chiefs' offense is going to overwhelm the defense of the 49ers, although they have been performing to peak ability these past few weeks. I don't think that's going to hold up because the Chiefs are just in general a good team. I do think some of their weaknesses include their offensive line that they need to still sort out a little bit of issues with. Not the worst in the league, but not exactly the best. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is overrated. People put a lot of faith into him, especially going into their fantasy seasons, and he is not performing as of these last couple weeks. But I do think that Deebo Samuel is going to give this Chiefs defense a run for his money, along with Brandon Ayuk. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to move the ball much on this field. I have the Chiefs winning 24-20.
Return of the GOAT, Geno Smith versus Justin Herbert. I have the Chargers winning this 31-27, but I can definitely see Seattle winning this. Quarterback, running back, I think that Kenneth Walker is pretty good. I was watching him for Michigan State. I knew that he was going to be pretty good in the league. He lived up to expectations, I'd say. But I see the Chargers. The main reason why they've been looking so bad, same with the 49ers and Dolphins, is because of injuries. And I think they're starting to get better, starting to get healthier, and I think it's going to show in this game.
When it comes to the Seattle Seahawks and LA Chargers, I have the Chargers winning this 24-13. This ball game is going to be close. I think Kenneth Walker is going to show himself as a breakout star once again, second week in a row. I do think that the Seahawks defense is going to struggle against this LA offense, although Justin Herbert was struggling, completing just 37-57 of his total passing attempts with no touchdowns and one interception. I do think he's going to find his rhythm today in this game, in this day's game, and he's going to be able to pull off the win with the rest of his team with 24-13.
Hey, my Dolphins Sunday night. I wish that they were facing a better opponent for the people's sake, but this should be a relatively easy win for them. At least I'm hoping the Steelers could be a sneaky team at times. But we're getting Tua back. We're getting players back just like the 49ers and Chargers are. So we're kind of building up. We started 3-0, lost our last 3 because of injuries. I think our defense, what's kind of weird with the Dolphins is if their offense is playing really good, their defense is playing mediocre. But if their defense is playing really good, their offense is playing mediocre. I think the offense is going to have a day today. Defense, not so much, but we're going to win this 28-20.
The City of Steel and the Miami Dolphins. At the Miami Dolphins pulling off this 10-point victory, 31-21 against the Steelers. I do think the only thing that is keeping the Steelers alive and together is Mike Tomlin and his special magic abilities. I don't think their quarterback room is the best. I do know that Pickett had a bounce-back game against Tampa Bay. And by bounce back, I mean bounce back to Mitch Trubisky, because Mitch Trubisky became the starter in that game. And I do think that they do have a future with him. I think that they should try out both these quarterbacks, because I don't really see one as significantly greater than the other. And as for this Miami offense, I do think it's great. I think Tua coming back is going to be a big plus in this offense. I do think that they need to be worried about injuries and the possibilities of it in the coming days. I have the Dolphins winning this 31-21.
I have the Patriots winning this by 7, 30-23. Sort of a high-scoring game. I think the Patriots are going to keep it rolling with that defense and offense, and the Bears are going to slowly stick in the game. Maybe get a garbage time touchdown to make it interesting, but Patriots with Bill Belichick, I think that's the main reason why they're 3-3 and not 2 or 1 win. And then the Bears kind of got some early wins, so they don't look as bad as they actually are. But I'm going to have the Patriots dominating this game.
18-27. Higher scoring game than most would have thought. This New England defense completely shutting down the run game. I have the Chicago Bears finding out the secret code and being able to put up 18 points with the run game. I do think that the Patriots are going to hold up. I think Belichick's coaching is just too good. I think the Patriots are undefeated in the coaching staff game. And I think that's really what's going to lead them to a victory, play calling on top of that. I think Bailey Zappe is going to have a good game again. And I think Ramondre Stevenson has proved himself as a good running back now in the league. I don't think that Justin Fields is going to do enough to really put this ball game away for the Bears. And I don't think that their wide receiver room is strong enough to put any notches downfield, that is, against the Patriots. So I have the Patriots winning this 27-18. Thank you for watching this week's edition of NFL Predictions Week 7. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and comment your predictions if you have any in the comments down below. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.